Not yet. Okay.
But
The,
now,
the speaker.
welcome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us this evening. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. We are live now from. Oh, okay. Volume there. Is it my volume or yours?
Yours.
So, thank you for joining us at the podcast, the Godcast, the real Godcast, where we discuss um, multiple subjects that have to do that mainly focus on the area of the self-improvement, right? And how I will try to summarize here, Cicero. So, and we discuss various themes, but we focus more on the mental technology and how the our mind can be unlocked for us to reach great heights, right? So, and the theme today is going to be about the news that has been shaking the world, basically, and it's part of a bigger picture. And I hope we can discuss about what that means. Why should we care about it, and what it means in the greater scheme of things. And we're going to share a little bit about our personal experience, hopefully, with Cicero, and we'll see with Cicero what he has in mind. We don't have much of a agenda here. We would like to have a discussion, so don't forget to like and share and comment. Just comment where that you're here and where you are watching from, and hopefully we can reach out to you whatever you are. So Cicero, take it on.
Hey guys, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm a hypnotherapist, mental and emotional programmer, and researcher from Brazil. I am from a group which is international but was born in Brazil called Dacla Pesquisas. And since 2010, I had a lot of experiences with extraterrestrial beings. So we are here to share it with you guys with a lot of new things to come around. And if you stay with us a little bit, I will show you some proofs, some really interesting proofs about why I'm speaking right now. So I'm living in Brazil here, especially in São Paulo, state São Paulo, Campinas City, and I'm working with people around the world. Uh, the world I scheduling helping people to improve their mental and emotional things, and I was with people in every continent in this world. Yeah, and if you want to to improve your mental skills, your emotional skills to heal yourself in the proper way and learn how to use your mind properly, it will be a pleasure to me help you. So, as our friend Enea was talking about, we are here to speak to you the truth. But for you understand it, you have to take the whole context, right? And to take the whole context, you will have to think a little bit outside the box. We are seeing too much, not too much people around the world tend to be a little bit suspicious about the government, about the system, about the mainstream media, even about the religious things. We have a lot of partings coming up these days with people from Hollywood, from Vatican, and from governments around the world. and it will be a little bit easy for you if you are thrilling, if you are walking to this path, searching for knowledge and for information. And the first thing is, do you really believe the US government doesn't know what is happening? I'm sure they don't know about it because this is totally new from everyone, but not for here to us, and especially for our group called Dakla Pesquisas, which we have a mentor, the first one called Urandir Fernandes de Oliveira, which has this kind of personal contacts since they was 5 or 6 years old. And uh, for us, it's a huge pleasure meet him and had the opportunity to live these experiences with him and the whole group, which know know how it works. But I want to listen your opinion in here before I'm just blow the minds people with the infos I have. You're muted, just for you know.
Yeah, thank you. So I appreciate your introduction here, and just like you, I also consider myself a contactee. I started having sort of interactions since when, even in New York, when I was in New York, if you can imagine, the most dense and the most sort of like distorted place for you to have a contact. And but they're everywhere, and in a way I got the calling, and eventually I went to Dhaka, where in 2018, where I had my first sort of like physical interaction with a dimensional being, and eventually actually then I returned, and in 2019 Dhaka had an expedition. About Dhaka is, by the way, eat Dhaka. Uh, had an expedition in New York, and that's when I actually experienced things that changed my perception of my reality forever. And it's been hard since then to me to publicly speak about these things, only because there's still, I mean, even after all the government disclosures and all the even legitimate ufological events that we have in the world right now, people still tend to ridiculize it because people are being programmed to talk about anything that's ET related as a cookie thing, But you have very credible people now, even Tucker Carlson, like the biggest journalists all around the world, that doesn't want to let the issue go. And everybody now, it's kind of hip into, oh, let's talk about aliens, where people like us have been talking about it for decades, right? And even when you be considered complete kook or crazy person. So in any case, I consider myself a contactee when I had these interactions, specifically with extra dimensional beings. So with this experience, since 7 and almost 8 years ago, where my first introduction to Dracula was. And before that, I had been obviously very open-minded and researching and devouring everything I could to understand my current state or condition. I when I discovered Dracula, then I discovered a truth that for me resonated very deeply, and since then I have been getting deeper and deeper and into understanding. So I'm not like somebody that just believes anything they're told, right? I'm somebody that likes to I'm open-minded, but then I test theories, I put it to proof, and I see for evidence, and I recognize patterns, and I take my time to really internalize something and become until it becomes a personal experience. So I understand that people may not Um, we don't ask anybody to believe us or about anything, right? Because if you don't have the experience, there's no way for you to know like what we're talking about. When in regards to having contactee experience and speaking with extra dimensional beings of various types and various locations. But at least keep an open mind that there are experiences out there that you may not be aware of, right? That if you stay open-minded enough, you realize that they do exist, and not only that, but even your government saying the governments now are saying that exists, and they're actually in a rally or effort to disclose as soon as possible, because they're, as we can discuss, the going to the context of this conversation, they are rushing to implement their alien invasion card, which they've been preparing for a long time through Hollywood and through subliminal programming and predictive programming and all of that, for us to basically internalize it and consider it as something normal, like. So yeah, that's a good segue into getting into the events that's been happening in Jersey. I think. What do you think, Cesar?
Oh yeah, you were totally right. This is my area, by the way. We are talking about mass hypnosis, mental
Yeah,
programmation, and you, which are watching us, if you are thinking this is something like what is the movie which you have Will Smith and spaceships around the world invading the planet. This is what's the name of movie? Probably you watch it.
like Independence Day. Oh no,
Independence Day.
with
Yeah.
Will Smith.
If
I
you
was
are
just referring to
thinking,
that the other day.
if you are thinking, these shining balls at the sky are something like the Independence Day, you are being programmed successfully because you are not thinking with your
Successfully,
mind.
yeah.
You are thinking with the movie theaters, and the movie theaters doesn't tell the truth. They just program subliminary your mind, your emotion for these moments, which you are just bring to your mind this reference, weird references from the movies, confusing the reality with those kinds of things. And now I just hit yourself not. I hit you in the face if you are thinking like this. And for you, see a little think, just for we start right now, I will share with you a huge proof because I'm talking about proofs and personal experiences, and of course my opinion too. But I want to share with you guys curious things which you probably don't know. And first of all, I want to advise you: they are not here to eat your brain. They are here to help us. The thing which is the enemy, aren't they? The real enemy are the people which are programming your minds every single day, trying to put you looking to nowhere and think about nowhere and being dumb every single day in your life. So watch this, look at this, and tell me your opinion. Look at this. Look at this. Uh, we had a lot of experiences with this little guy here, which will literally disappear in front of the camera here in Brazil. We had journalist programs which are trying to figure out what was happening in the place we have a lot of researches, and they just take this shot. Look at this. Look at this. A little bit. It will be a little bit slower again. As you can see, you have like something like a smoke with a shining light at the top, and it starts to disappear, being a little bit smaller to it disappear. Look at this.
So yeah,
Curious, huh?
so this was a footage from a TV channel, right? That was shot while the camera was rolling, and
Yes.
this was in Brazil, Dakar, which um, we both have been multiple times. I actually spent about a year and a half there during the pandemic, and so the various TV channels in Brazil, and actually TV channels here in the US have publicized this type of thing. It's just that it didn't really get any traction, but actually is being aired on TV shows here in the US, and I can't find any of those videos anymore. There should be somewhere on the internet, but basically the TV station was there to interview one of these beings, and there are interviews with these beings, which obviously in Brazil, this TV show host, which is very popular, Danilo Gentili, that went there personally, and actually other TV show hosts and journalists went there to interview. In this case, would be E.T. Bilu, right? Which now goes by the name E.D. Bell, which is a name used in antiquity to describe certain consciousnesses and entities that live throughout human history and in many different other civilizations that have since been wiped or been discontinued, so to speak. And then these guys were able to capture this image, which is one of the many images that we have. It's just this is a public image that we can share publicly. And unfortunately, some images we cannot really share, which can be really impactful to see, but not we were not authorized to share it publicly with everyone. And in this image, you can see how there's other videos actually where Cicero, they actually show the shade of the being that has a head, right? And it kind of even circles it around. But it's like a short being. Um, and that shows like the biomagnetic centers dematerializing, basically just lighting up and then the smoke that you see, that's plasma, right? It's bioplasmatic material that basically just disappears, and then it creates a sound which sounds like a vacuum. So it goes like, and then the pressure from the environment is kind of like compensates, and it goes, it has a clapping sound where the beam just goes away. And this is a typical thing where the beams come in and out. So that's what I think Cicero was presenting there.
Yes, I'm searching for another footage to share, but I'm just listening. And
Right.
yes, uh,
So if you want to look in, then I'll share like my experience when I first had this experience was in US. Actually, I was in the borders of Massachusetts and New York, in the Berkshires, somewhere like 4 hours away from New York City. I first had this experience, and I can tell you, like, just feeling, being in that energy, it's like there's no way you can be fooled by anything. It's like people. I mean, even myself, my own mind was tricking me into like saying, "Hey, was it real? Did it even happen?" And that continued for a long time. Just so you understand how difficult it was for even my own brain to believe the stuff that I was seeing in my own eyes. Like I couldn't even believe my own eyes, right? So now Sister is going to be showing the interview that E.T. Bilu or E.D. Bell did with this TV channel in Brazil. So you can put the volume there so people can hear.
It is in Portuguese, so
It's in
probably
Qual
they
sua
Portuguese.
can
mensagem para a
understand.
Terra, Bilu?
Apenas que busque conhecimento.
You can translate for people.
Right. This is yeah.
This is probably people which was researching about
Yeah. This
that
is
big
a
project.
documentary. Yeah, this is a documentary done by Project Portal at the time, and this is associates that were witnessing, and they
Oh,
have the testimonials about that event.
yeah.
And this is where Bilu basically was asked to say, "Hey, what's Bilu? What's your message for Earth?" And he said, basically, just seek knowledge because we live in a fake reality, right? And that's why we're here to try to help demystify our current state of existence here and explain a little bit, put a little bit of context in the current events and put it in a bigger scheme of things and what it means for you and I that are just minding our own lives and our families and working and not even really having time uh, to search these things. So that's another image here of wow. This is so wow. This
The
is
same
beautiful.
contact, but with a filter to try
Oh,
to
filter.
understand better
Ah,
what's
okay.
the image. You know, you have a lot of
Right.
uh, nature trees, but you can see
You can
this
see the
lighting human being uh, in the middle of the nature, which
I
is
actually
it well.
seen I've seen a video that was much clearer about the below, but that already with the torture they does this, but I don't think that's around anymore. It was taken out.
Yes, I was researching about this and I didn't find it.
Yeah, I didn't find it either. I actually saved it, but I didn't find it anymore. So
Yeah, but look at this.
there was an activation there, right? What was that light?
Yes, there's a
Oh,
lot. Oh, by the way, look at this. It's
mm.
almost the same thing people are seeing in the skies. I
Right. Oh yeah,
personally
yeah, yeah,
see it every day, a lot of times since
yeah,
2010. And here
yeah.
is a lot of footages uh, with proofs and analysis. Look at this. But I'm holding the best for the middle or maybe for the end.
Right.
Look at this.
Cristiano,
Yeah.
Pois não.
The same footage before. Let us see. Let us see. Oh, look at this. The analysis.
Mm.
This is with um, filters to get some
Mm-hmm.
contrast, you know,
Right. Yeah.
for 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 have a better analysis.
Hmm. What's that? Is it third eye?
Probably
Or is it an artifact?
no, probably third eye
Ah,
or the frontal chakra,
the frontal chakra.
which is a proper name for it,
Right. So the technical term.
technical term. I
And
like
it's not
to
chakra.
use this
It's a
because third
mm,
eye is a mystical term, and
right.
using mystical terms, we are probably confusing people.
Right. So we call it biomagnetic center, right?
Yes,
Wow,
biomagnetic center.
I hadn't noticed that before actually.
Yes, this kind of filter. brings to us a lot of information.
Yeah, and it shines just like
Look at this.
the eyes. What's this?
Hora que eu fui atravessar.
Okay.
Tá vendo?
Olha lá, tá vendo?
Tá
Danilo?
vendo, Danilo? Ele do
This is
lado.
the testimonial from Danilo Gentili, the journalist,
Yeah.
and in the behind the
Poor
scenes,
guy.
they were flabbergasted, with
Yeah.
the whole thing. But when they returned for the TV show, they have to make
When they edited, yeah.
damn edition to show us. But led of Idabel, people inside Dakla make photos in the same time to holding the real experiences, the proof to be clear for the people. And
Lá
here
do,
we
aqui, ó,
have
do, la- entre as-
the
aqui, do lado da
Danilo
árvorezinha. Se
Gentili, the
mexe pra ele te
reporter,
notar.
Ah, não.
watching
vendo.
Ai, gente, eu
one
tô
of
passada.
these shining balls in the skies you are seeing right now around the world.
Não dá pra pegar. Mas confiem em mim. Tudo que eu tô falando, eu tô vendo de verdade. Não tem por que mentir. Pelo contrário. Se fosse...
Basically, he are speaking, trust me, I'm speaking the truth. Everything I'm speaking about, I am seeing, but my camera can't capture well the UFOs movements and things like this. Keep going, my friend.
Right. So, yeah. So this is he's one of the most popular TV show hosts, which I don't think is one of the best, but is definitely one that the system global TV, which is one of the biggest TV stations in the world, promotes. And obviously, when he went, it was for TV record at the time, or no? Or
What? It
what TV
was
station
about
was it?
2010.
Yeah, 2010. So the
2010.
time, right? So he went there for the footage, and when it was time for them
No,
to air,
I wasn't there
you weren't there yet. Well, maybe you
yet.
saw it on
Not
TV.
yet.
So maybe you saw it on TV, and then after that you you got called
Yes,
in
at that
because
time,
yeah,
I was skeptical people. I was
you were
really
skeptical.
skeptical, and
Skeptical.
I didn't
That's
believe.
so yeah.
I didn't believe in the whole thing, and I start my journey with Dakla, which was called Projeto Portal at that time,
Mm.
because I was trying to prove it was a lie. It was some kind of mental tricks and illusion, and
Right.
for my happiness, I wasn't right. And since my first time, I saw a lot of things which can be denied, and it starts a new chapter of my life. When I just start to have a lot of contacts, I had an opportunity to see uh, very often Itbel and other extra dimensional beings almost face to face. I saw they speaking in different languages like Aramaico,
Aramaic, yeah. So which is
Aramaic,
the language Jesus spoke, right?
yes, Hebraico,
Hebraic, Hebrew,
yes,
yeah.
Hebrew. Recent last year, exactly. Idbel was talking Korean with a girl from Korea, South Korea, and there's a lot of people I know which was in context when he was speaking Spanish, English. This is really interesting. About Aramaic, there's nothing more than 100,000 people in the whole world which are able to speak it.
Hmm.
And at that time, was a new guy, which was 7 years before in Israel, Israel,
Israel.
Israel, and they just learned about Aramaic and Hebrew and this Jewish culture things, and
Mhm.
they was at that time this guy didn't believe Idbel was real, and then he started speaking Aramaic, just challenging the people. And then I was there, and at that time I saw Idbel walking in the water, and it was mind blowing, really mind blowing.
Where
And
was the water at?
the
What was
what
location? Where
is
was the location of the Convex?
Brasilia,
Was it in Fazenda?
Brasilia,
Ah, in
Brasilia,
Brasilia.
the capital from Brazil.
Right, but was like a lake or was like a what
It's
was
a
it?
little lake,
Right.
little lake. It
It
was
was
a
doing
little
the
lake.
Jesus thing, huh?
The
Maybe,
Jesus thing, yes,
maybe did it on purpose
walking
just
in the
to
water,
the guy was challenging
speak,
him, so then yeah,
yes,
speaking Aramaic.
speaking Aramaic, and it
Mhm.
was really amazing because that experience was literally blowed my mind because I was seeing that guy which was almost so physical as ourselves, but at the same time it was some kind of distortion in
Mm.
reality around him. And as the conversation was happening, uh, was a time which was possible watch a few of them behind Idbel. It was something like 9 couples,
Mm.
and I was watching this silhouette,
Right.
and
Silhouette.
around them silhouette,
Mhm.
yes, and around them was a lot of more distortion, like the Matrix movie, the movie that waves in distortion around them. It was really interesting, really interesting.
So, what is this got to do with the subject of the day? Can you lead us towards that? I'm
Yes,
sure people want to know. And while
people
you
want to
explain,
know.
let me put the air on.
Put the air on. I will wait for you. And you, if you are watching, stay here, and I will show you uh, a good footage in English in a special moment which happened in Dubai. And keep watching, and you see. Let us waiting for our friend in here. So I'm talking about these things just to share with you. We are not people which claim uh, subjective interactions and this kind of religious things like 5D and angels in the sky and all this bullshit. Sorry for the
Yeah,
word.
well, the word is that we stay away from mystical connotations and sentimentalism and sensationalisms and religions do a lot of that, right? So we try to be down to earth, even though the things we speak about, I understand, can be sounding crazy, just like it did when we first started, right? But we went through the process, and we are very logical people, and we understand that we want to appeal to the logical mind, and we don't like to talk about mystical things, or we had contact with angels, or with we don't like to use mystical connotations. We document interactions, record. I even recorded with my own recorder, right? So there's no question even in my mind if the thing was real. And we document, and we catalog, and everything is in documented, because we want to approach this in a physical way, not using spirituality or anything, because it's not about that. It's about us here and now in this physical dimension, where and everybody could relate to.
Yes.
So
As the Idbel like to speak, it's about the real science. It's not about mysticisms and uh, illusions and things like this. So,
not to
but
say not to say that we don't respect people's orientations and beliefs, and we respect everybody's beliefs. In fact, we welcome any opinion. We're not people that um, we don't exclude any information, right? Although uh, we do have our own understanding of things. But we don't necessarily um, do what a lot of religious fundamentalists do, which is, oh, you deal with extraterrestrials, so then you guys are satanic or demonic, and you're dealing with demonic beings and all that. So basically, there is a closed-mindedness when it comes to people that are indoctrinated in a certain religion. Although we do respect all lineages.
yes, uh, I respect all point of views, but what I'm just trying to say is there's a lot of ideas, and I'm bringing facts. And as I showed up for you guys, which are watching, and I was about to speak something about this. Uh, Despite we are talking, this kind of spiritual thing is not our thing. There's something truth in this spiritual path, you know. And here in Brazil, in the spiritual way, we have um, information about some kind of changing in the whole planet, and probably the extra dimensional or terrestrial being are able to make an intervention with things is going out of control. And this is kind of what is happening right now. That shiny balls, uh, as Urandir and one of the biggest researchers here, which called Felipe Castelo Branco, which is a huge and great researcher. Uh, this this UFOs are uh, extra dimensional being in parts, and another human beings in another part. And I'm when I speak another human beings, I'm not speaking about the earth. No, I'm speaking about people outside the edge of the system earth. And if you want to understand more about this, we have a documentary called Convex Earth, which the Dackle Research had a lot of researches with specific experiments to prove the Earth is not a ball, but isn't flat. Is the convex things like a plate or something like this. By the way, something like this T-shirt. Look at this. Something like this T-shirt, and it was made, I think, 10 years ago, but is in the internet, and I will show you right now. So we work with a lot of research, and this is one of the the facts they bring they brought to us about the reality of the earth, and then we start to research and documenting all the experiments, and you can probably find in English in this channel called Terra Convexa. You can find it in English or with subtitles, probably. With subtitles, probably. By the way, you can research in this channel, YouTube channel called Terra Convexa in Portuguese, and we have in the same context a huge research which are literally changing the whole history in the world about the human beings, and this is called Ratanaba here, which we are founded some heads from Anunnaki people. If you know about the Anunnaki people, look at this.
It's the elongated skull.
Skull, yes.
Skulls, right?
Word.
And this is in the jungle of the Amazon, in a specific cave that the president of Dakila with a group uh, have done many expeditions for the past 30 or more years, or even longer before that, right? But at least officially as a organization has been around that time.
Yes.
So this is direct evidence because you can see it's an archaeological work. It's a study with with facts, and the archaeological discoveries are happening live. Basically, it's ongoing. It's not like when you see in the mainstream academics or media or news outlets where they have a discovery. You see the beginning of like, oh, we discovered this, and then you see the end. I was like, oh, this is what it was. Basically, you don't see any the process of research and discovering and understanding. Basically, they just don't show any of that. They file it up and just tell you what they think they saw. They get to the conclusion. Whereas in Dakila, everything is being shown in real time through the Dakila channels, and where you can make your own conclusions and see the facts for yourself, like these images now, which are in Apiacás region of Alto Paraíso, right? Is that where it is? Or
Yes, Alto Paraíso.
Alto Paraíso, and those you can see from the plane. You can see those squares, which they don't happen in nature naturally. That's where Dakila went there and found the evidence of this ancient civilization that it's actually dated to 450 million years ago, which obviously caused a lot of controversy in Brazil, even though it got viral about 2 years ago, and millions of people were hearing about Ratanaba for the first time. And a lot of people, a lot of archaeologists came out and saying that this is absurd, even though, as you can see in the images, there were artifacts found, and you can see the images, they're very old. This is Orangier on the right there, very young, it's 30 years ago. These are real artifacts. And when presented to IFAN at the time, which is the tourism and cultural organization in Brazil, they hid the information and they did a presentation showing only ceramics and stuff. So it shows you about the fact that this information is being withheld or from the public view, and Dakle is here to publicize it, and we're trying to do our part to propagate this information to as many people as possible, so then people understand their origins and where they come from. And going a
Yeah.
little bit further, a little bit behind, when you're explaining about the beings and the sightings, right? That you mentioned that the images we show, it's what people have been seeing in Jersey, right? And
Yes.
right, so, and you said that you've been seeing this for years. So I have high, at least for the past 7 years. We interact and we have this vision of this. As we're looking at the images there, you can see how this is a map written in the etched in stone, where it shows the location of those squares in the Amazon, right? So these are real discoveries. And we can comment more about that. But just wanted to go back to what you're discussing, that the stuff that's
Yes.
happening.
Sorry.
Well, this is
I just
the
remembered
breaking.
that. I just remembered that, and using it for a curiosity from people, because I like to show the evidences,
Yeah,
and this is
this is
the
amazing
the
stuff.
best part of this context, because we are discovering the truth about our origin, and these lightings above us in the sky are part of this whole thing. They are lying to us in religion, in government, in media, and everywhere. They are lying to us, and now
Right, but
they are almost to bring us uh, a hard path for the humankind, and this is why they are showing up, because
right,
they told us, if the governments and the Anunnakis, which are trying to rule the world, starts to cross the line, they was able to, I mean, the 49 races and his partners. The 49 races are a huge group of extra dimensional beings which interact with us in Dacola research and in our researches. And his partners, I mean, these people outside the edge, which are good and trying to help us. So if these Anunnaki, which are not good for us, started to cross the line, they will just uh, make a little show. And this is happening with shining lights, just for not causing panic, because people are more comfortable with this lighting thing. So there's no alien invasion or something like this. They are here to show us we're not alone, and they are here to us for help us. and for avoid some kind of war or disaster coming for the government and something like this, you know. And
Yeah. Put the, if you can put the, yeah, there you go. And I can go ahead.
yes, after that I have a special video to show, but
Okay.
I like to speak important thing about this research called Ratanaba.
Yeah.
This was discovered with a super new technology called LiDAR, which create some kind of uh, how I can speak it, that hologram image.
Yeah. So the LiDAR, the way the LiDAR works, LiDAR stands for laser something.
Yes,
Something. You can search it up
something
on
something.
search someone on Google, but basically it sends a laser light, and the laser
Yes,
scans the ground and removes through computer algorithms, it removes the plants and shows only the surface of the ground. And there is some also what is it called, RP?
GPS, which is a technology
It's GPR,
which
not GPS.
create I forgot the name, but it's an image by the sonar
Right. It uses sonar.
inside the earth.
Right. So it uses sonars to use that goes with sound vibrations to go down the earth, and then from the feedback of that, it
Yes,
shows images in the ground. So they're using the latest technology to uncover these things with their own money and their own finance. But let me ask you, Cicero. So this is the main revelation to our audience, which is to be about what's happening, right? So I want you to, you know, to summarize again about, or if you want to show this first, go ahead. But I want you to summarize, what do you think is happening with in Jersey, and put it in perspective in the grander scheme of things, which you already spoke about. You already said that. So what's happening is that there is the extra dimensional presence. They come in the form more like of those lights that you're showing. You know, like the light that was very bright going around, which people have been making videos on Instagram, a lot of accounts. There's also more physical
yeah,
UFOs or UAPs, which they changed the term now, which are like drones, but they're not from our planet, but they're from a humanoid species. They're present here. There was a book many years ago called Crypto Aliens. So they are a extraterrestrial humanoid beings, just like us. They walk among us. They are inserted in many positions of power around the world. And they have a specific mission, which is coming to fruition now, and they call the Genus beings. And they have their own ships, which are more physical, right? So they have the bioplasmatic, which are the beings of higher dimensions, and which are much more advanced, in the billions of years more advanced than us. And they don't use matter; they're more subtle, and they use bioplasmatic technology. And there is the extra terrestrial beings, which are from Earth system, which Cicero was trying to explain. If you see his shirt, it only shows the part where we are in, which is the first ring is called. And these beings are from our neighbors, from other continents, which the first rings has more continents. But that's for another subject. So basically, those two exist, is what you said, right? And I would add one more thing, which is also the U.S. Drones, where the military of the United States sends their own things for various reasons, either to divert or to show people that, oh, these are military drones, or just to create more confusion, right? And to
yes,
basically
just to create more confusion.
try
In the
to
original thing, there's no drones.
right,
It all was ships, you know.
right.
and not for Jimus.
Where's the
There's a lot of people which are outside the edge,
right?
which are not Jimus,
So
and we are not with the information,
right,
the specific information, which who they are, but we are know they are partners from the 4-9 races,
right. So they're
and they are just like us, physical.
right. So the information we have, because there was a lot of interest about the subject worldwide. So Urangir went and conferred or spoke with the Bilu, or the partners, as we call it, to get their verification. So we have the privilege, or we have the luxury to basically get the information directly, right, without going through the filter of manipulation. So the word that we got, which was broken recently, about a week ago, is that, like Cicero said, is a species that is closest to our density, right?
Close.
Right. So they are humanoid beings just like us, different races. They come from other planes or planets outside of our firmament here, if you want to call that word. We don't use the word firmament, but we call it a ring, right? And they are here present to help assist humanity's transition in this time, right? Which is also why it's important for us to begin speaking about the subject, because it's now time to know the truth and to evolve as human beings, because it's high time now. And it's not about us showing off that we know so many things, that we're so sexy and cool and sophisticated. It's not about that. It's about people knowing. And this is a theoretical diagram of what, basically the first ring of our plane would look like, where the part that the mouse is at is our place now, right? I don't know what the validity of this map is and where it comes from, but it's pretty.
Sorry.
Well, no, yeah. Can you tell us about this map? And is this map
This
something?
is just an illustration.
Illustration.
For regular people, the Earth is just it.
Right.
But, as we are researching about the thing, system Earth, we know there's a lot of places outside the edge, the ice edge of the Earth.
Right.
And this is just for illustrate the thing. This is not the real map, but it can bring us some idea,
right?
Which what we're talking about.
So yeah, just to create a visual, and we don't have to go too much into this, because this is a whole other can of worms, and a lot of people have doubts about this, right? So we cannot throw too many bombs at the same time, or just one bomb at a time. But that also, see, like this implicates a lot of things, right? This is the reason why the government, in a way, it's forced to maintain a narrative, because if they explain things the way they are, they have to explain everything. The fact that we don't live in this ball planet or the solar system, and it's actually an Earth system, and we live in a platform that's stable, and we have local suns and moons that go around, and there's multiple rings. We know there's like nine rings, right? And then the first ring has multiple continents beyond the ice wall, which General Byrd popularized at the time. They went on a mission on the what they call it, the Big North, which is a continent in Antarctic. After the ice wall, there's another continent there, right? So this events, we need to understand that is bring this understanding, and then the current narrative that the the governments and the media try to maintain is falling apart, right? And we have to explain all these things for people to understand what's happening, what are these things. And the fact is that they've always been around, so it's not like an invasion happening, right? But the media is creating this narrative now that, oh, now we have an alien threat, because there's always have to be a threat. Before it was the red China, or like the red communist movement, the terrorists, or there's always have to be an outside threat that people can be like, oh, we need the government, so they can relinquish the freedoms. It's just a method that the occult government uses to scare people, right? So we're here to provide some legitimate scientific information, and this is scientific stuff. We can prove everything that we say with documents, and we can talk to the most sophisticated PhD out there, which I would not really trust, because they're the word PhD only means that they're really good robots. They can repeat and regurgitate the same information they've been fed, and they cannot really critically observe or think on their own. They have to depend on an institution for them to get their PhD title. Not to offend any PhDs out there, there's great PhD researchers out there. They can actually think for themselves, but the academics, they don't allow that. So going back is like, what are these things? Where are they coming from? And the information we have is that they're the outside of this cosmos beings, which are the extra dimensionals, right? And there's the density, the same, like similar density beings, like humanoids, like us, that are here to assist us, and plus military targets. And where they come from is where we need to get more in depth of our system, Earth system, right? And that gets complicated because people still have an idea of us living in a ball, and there's being space. So people think that this being's coming up from a faraway place, and the fact is that they're not coming from far away at all.
Yes, this is why that proofs are so important. Because when you have the evidence, when you have the proof, when we have a material thing, we can be, if you are honest, we can be open to see the whole thing, to make a better research, to change our minds, to understand it better. And I think we can create a line to explain the whole thing.
Yeah.
As a huge cake, we slice it into pieces, and we can start to speak about religion, the origin, the Anunnakis, the government, and this whole mind prison we popular call Matrix. Because what is happening right now is there's a lot of people seeing by their own eyes, and the government just can't hold the narrative, the history, the lies, even if they are hardly trying to hide the truth from people. We are living almost like in that movie called V for Vendetta. Did you watch it before?
Yeah.
V for Vendetta, which all people around that city knows the TV was lying, and they just watching the program. Oh, how can you lie to us like this? And the people start to be in that state of consciousness right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why they are really trying to control us better and better and better and better and better. Because we are almost there to know the truth.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that we can do like sort of like a basic presentation thing, but there's so much good researchers out there. They're more professional, they're more dedicated to their specific areas that we can refer to people, because there's a lot of material out there, and we can be a reference point for people and be like, okay, you want to research more about archaeology or history, the hidden history of humanity. Like recently in Dhaka, there's very good researchers in the field. Where's my water? Andrea De Pierre, for example, and there's amazing researchers out there. Thankfully, the YouTube is has given a lot of information, so we can give people the references where to go. But we don't really need to reinvent the wheel, because there's so much information out there. It's just that we can help people, just challenge people to wake up, from and at least speak with conviction that what we know is factual. There's evidence, and if people want to know more, we don't want people to believe us. It's just that if people have some curiosity, we can walk them through, and we can pass on the information. We have a lot of material, and I'm open to, for us to doing some like a presentation or
This book
yeah.
is a really good research with a lot of material.
So this book is I've had this book, but what is the value in this book? What does it bring? What does it provide to people?
This book provides to people good research with a lot of proofs, facing different histories about religion. We have materials from Torah and Bible, and then we have the Sumerian tablets,
Yeah.
and you can see by your own eyes the histories and the chronology of this people, especially because the Sumerian tables speak a lot of the Anunnakis and the origin of the human beings, and this brings a lot of light for the religious people, which are trying to understand better the Bible and the other sacred books,
Right.
And for me, this is not a easy book to read, because this is really technical, which is good, because was made about serious research from this woman called Zenaide E. Ragozin. I have a Portuguese version of this book, which I share for free in the internet.
Right. So this is actually it talks about the history and how things came to be, how religions were created, and gives a historical perspective of where the past and how we got to where we got now. Right.
Yes, I think it's important, because for people who really understand why the extra dimensional beings are showing up right now, they have to comprehend this is not a new thing.
Right.
This is not a new thing.
It's been
this is happening since the earliest time in the earth, since the beginning.
This guy Robert Bigelow, which is a billionaire tech guy that has the own aerospace companies, subcontractor for the defense department, right? And he's gone on national TV here in the US saying that the aliens are amongst us already, right? So and he said they always have been. So you have all these people, like, that maybe the guy's not so mainstream, but it's not a secret anymore. So like, if people see this as a ridiculous subject, I mean, some people really have to wake up, and there's no more time for what. These things are real, and there is a lot of manipulation. So hopefully we can do a small part in sharing some real information.
Yes, we had this lady called Karen Hughes, and she was a very important person in the U.S. government, and she often speaks in the past about the big heads, which we call Anunnakis,
I'm
and
not
how they control the whole thing, especially in the banks, behind the scenes.
right.
We have a lot of people talking serious things about these things, and people which are new in this journey have to know a little bit more the serious references.
Right. What other references you we can give people to understand more about the Anunnaki, or the sort of the creator of the Adamic race and all of that, the historical component. The book that you gave, it's a good reference for that.
Yeah.
uh, and you obviously have the guy that popularized it, called Zacharias teachings, right, that wrote the 12th planet, and which other book is popular book that speaks about.
uh, there's that guy which wrote that book called
You're talking about Zacharias teachings?
Chariots of the Gods,
Gods.
Derek von Däniken.
Then very von, yeah,
Van
von.
Däniken. I was with that guy in 2012 in Brasilia,
Mhm.
and I was with a small group from Dakula, and
Mhm.
we had a little dinner with him.
Okay. Yeah. So he's
Yeah,
aware of
and
that.
yeah, we talk about Ijbel and our experiences, and he
That's
was kind of very
intrigued.
interested in the whole thing. And I remember we asked him about the things he was not saying,
Mhm.
and then I remember he was smiling like, "Oh, there's a classified thing I can't speak, but you understand. I know you got me. Yes, I have a lot of things I know which I'm not able to speak right now.
Yeah, you cannot say on
But
Instagram channels certain things, right?
yeah, but the truth is, uh, there is not a group around the world which has better and deeper experiences with these guys than Dakala Research. And there is no human being in the whole world which has more closer with they than Urandir Fernandes de Oliveira. He's the guy which is very near with them. And it's by him we had the opportunity to see for our own eyes.
Yeah. So
As I'm talking about me, probably you, and a
yeah.
lot of people around the world, because it is in Brazil, but there's a lot of people around the world. We have Australian people, England people, French people, Japanese people, Korean people.
Yeah, and not only Dakila people, but people that have received information indirectly. And I can tell you something interesting later on that I haven't spoken about in a while. But like you said, we can only thank Rangier, because if he hadn't done the work that he did, we would not really have this direct information like this, right? And it just shows you how isolated we are from the truth, right? We have a lot of information that is being put out there, but it's in parts, bits and pieces, right? So
Yes, I
when Dracula, everything to me made sense. It gave me the whole perspective, the whole
I'm
understanding.
I,
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm just talking about the shortcut, the better path to get in the information. We have a
Right.
lot of people which are claiming I have mental experiences. No, I'm talking about real experiences without subjective things, without doubts, without s- struggling with interpretation. I mean, face-to-face contacts and physical experiences, which, I, if you understand me, I have a lot of subjective
Subject.
experiences,
Yeah.
and I don't mean I'm I don't believe in it, but for being straight to the point, I'm trying to bring the context for the physical ones,
Right.
because the subjective experience are not for everybody. There's a lot of confusing things in that thing, and people often confusing realities and
Yeah.
mind
That's
things with the reality.
right. That's because we are multidimensional beings, right? So when people vibrate in the astral, which a lot in the U.S., for example, before I discovered Dracula, there was a lot of astral work, right? And there is real experiences, but people were working with a lower frequency. Therefore, they weren't able to interact with frequencies from other higher dimensions because they were only vibrating in a certain place. So, Dracula doesn't work with astral frequencies or lower frequencies, right? And but not to say that Dracula is better. It's just that they only connect to the higher frequencies in order for our work to be done, which is being a channel of contact with higher dimensional beings here and being sort of like a portal, right? And this is what differentiates Dracula from many organizations. And I don't believe that Dracula is the only organization in the world to have contact with the 49 races. Other people have had
Yeah.
contact with the 49 races. Although what's special about Dracula is that Dracula has been able to sustain interaction for many years, which has been attempted before. Especially used to be a group out of Colombia, I think, or something called Rama, right? And they actually started having interaction with higher dimensional beings. Although the group was dissolved and they weren't able to be around for too long, for them to keep the sustained interactions day in day out for years and years and years and years, for there to be a body of work that's directly from the source accumulating, for it to be passed on as a legacy to the rest of humanity, for the rest of the population. So that's why, for me, I don't dismiss other information out there. Although when I've been through the process of comparing and contrasting and seeing the validity of certain things, I always go back to Dracula because of the truthfulness and the tangible information, without mystical connotations, direct to the point. So I wanted to make that distinction about Dracula.
Oh, uh, the leader of the Hama group
Yeah.
is part of Dracula.
Oh yeah.
He's part of Dracula since
Now
10 years or something like this.
who is that?
Yes. I don't know his name,
Hmm.
but they was with Dracula in some
Activities.
expeditions
Uh-huh.
from South America, and I was noticed about some part of this group, which was in USA, which visited Dracula before.
Yeah.
But by the way, I'm not trying to compare things. I don't like these things, uh, like right or wrong. but there's always a proper way to do things, you know. And by my experiences, I never ever saw such a group which has even 1% of the interaction DACLA group has at the present moment. And I'm about to show that really interesting video with you guys, because we in this video you have an introduction from DACLA, and you will see a lot of special things. Can I play it?
Yes. If you want to speed it up a little bit too, because it's a 10-minute video. And so we can do our final considerations, because we already been an hour and a half, right? No, an hour and 20 minutes.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
If you have to go, I just
we can finish up.
I just share it, and after the end, I finish the live.
Right.
So you want to make the final considerations right now?
Yeah. So let's make the final consideration, and we can, I can close with this, and then if you want to finish the rest, go ahead. But basically, just to have the final consideration. You want me to go to go ahead? It's 1 hour and 20 minutes. So anyway, so I just want to kind of put things in perspective. Why we're talking about all these random other things? I think it's everything is connected, right? And we live in it seemed an exaggeration to me when, especially Felipe, which is the international coordinator, right? And he was the one who from the very beginning, we started the base here in the US. I was interacting with a lot. And he always say, like, we live in a fabricated reality, then we live in a fake reality. And he also used to cite the Matrix as a constructed reality. And that's, to me, seemed like an exaggerated thing. But the more I live, the more I realize how that's so true, right? So it's always good for us to understand that our minds can trick us, and to understand that we are being conditioned and from the cradle, that to be conditioned to believe that we are less, right? And we have amazing capacity, which is what the Tecnologia Mental preaches, right? And it shows the power of our mind, the power that our mind has, right? That religions have manipulated in a way to create all these alternate realities that really are illusionary, right? Which in a way, it's a testament to the power of our mind to create realities that are real and physiological for us, and create illusions, right? So we can live in these illusions and be real for us, subjective although real, right? But some people have the difficult job, and I guess we subscribe for this job, and it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about this stuff. I'd like to talk about more cool, sexy stuff, and talk about digital marketing and how to make millions, and how we can, how we can be like buying Rolls Royces right now, and gambling and doing like poker and stuff like that, and like selling info product. By the way, do you have anything to sell to people right now? No. Yeah, maybe we'll change.
I'm self-freedom.
You sell freedom
for free.
We're not trying to sell you anything, guys. So it just shows you that it's coming from the heart. It's really our mission to share this. We're not here to sell stuff and like really go into that transactional thing. But we're here to do the difficult task, which is waking us up. We're also in the process of, we're not better than anybody. We're also in the process of expanding our consciousness. But I have news coming up in the first day of the 2025. I'll have news coming up. Tune into my Instagram. I'm going to start also I didn't talk about I didn't talk to you about this, but I will be offering something. So stay tuned, and we will talk about it. But just going back to the subject, it is a difficult challenge to realize that we have been fooled, because it's very bitter pill for us to realize that we, we have created this illusion, a reality, and we don't like it when people tell us, "Hey, wake up! You don't. It's not how you think it is." Because we don't like to be told that, because we want to think that we know what's up, and that's just the vain nature of humankind, right? It's not the easiest thing to do, because people want to defend their way of being, even though they really are not so invested into it. But just for the fact of, it's an ego gets hurt, and it's bitter for the ego, for people to be told that my reality is not how it is. So and actually, Cicero has introduced me to a new book which I really like, and introduces another version that hasn't been popularized so much, just like a contemporary of Carl Jung and Freud, right? That doesn't talk so much about the victimization of humankind, of like the trauma responses and the unconscious manifestations of our past and all of that. But he speaks more about in Adler's, what's his name, the full name I don't know, but Adler is his name.
Alfred Adler.
Alfred Adler, which speaks more about the teleological component of things. That doesn't speak about the etiological, which is the cause and effectual things, but it speaks more about us realizing how we, in a way, willfully, even though we were not conscious of it all the time, we willfully create a certain reality. So it's time for us now to just be adults and realize that we have the control of our own lives. And if you want to live in truth, we can simply say, I want to do that, and we can just move into that. Doesn't have to. You don't need to think of yourself of a less or that you're less of a person, or that you have all this kind of programming from the past and all of these things which are real and they do shape who we are, but they don't have to define who we can be from now on. So and that's a really good book. I'm still on, just beginning the third session. Yeah, it's tasty, and it's it's the time. It's time to to get on with the program, right? So yeah, that's what we're here to do. And I think what's happening in the Jersey drones, which was this how we popularized, but it's all over the world, is the presence of these dimensional beings as well, which they have stated many years ago that there will be more and more present. So here they are, right? And is it drones from other extraterrestrial beings? Yes. Is it drones from US government too? Yes. It's all of those things. But if you don't know, and if you don't have a trained mind, and if you haven't studied something for a long enough time, you get so confused. That's why this times around now, the government wants to confuse people, because people are waking up, and because they're losing the narrative, they're going to use another Hegelian dialectic strategy, which is they create a problem and then they create a reaction and they bring the solution, which in this case is the alien threat, and they're going to try to jump in as the saviors of the day, that we're going to go and save humanity from this alien invasion. And it's another old card they've been using for many years, and unfortunately the majority of the population falls for it, and it will fall for it again, because people that are in fear, they don't think, but there's always going to be those of us that are waking up and that don't get manipulated by fear anymore. And we're here to give some down to earth, like reason about what's happening. And what's happening is very hopeful, very life-changing, and it's opportunity for humanity to evolve, and to move on to another stage of our evolution, But at the same time, I'm not so optimistic, because the system is very strong, and they're resorting more and more to authoritarian type measures, right? They're using a lot of this uh, these agendas to. I don't know. Like the fact that we cannot say certain words on YouTube just tells you what kind of world we live in, right? So things are getting more authoritarian because they know that they cannot control people anymore otherwise. So they have to use physical controls, like the new systems of the digital system they're using, which is going to operate on blockchain, controlled by AI, and it's going to limit our movements and limit us physically from operating outside of the system, which is also Dakila and Cicero can talk more about it later on, and I will conclude here, is also bringing a solution for us to have an alternative source of having means of exchange, so then we don't have to be reliant on systems that seek to control us, right? We need to have alternative system. There you go, BDM. It's a financial system, economical system. It's not just a means of exchange. It's a whole system that is a very innovative financial system that has been introduced to us. Ranjiro obviously a big part, but the 49 races are actively working with us for us to get this out there to people that can use it as a sort of like a life raft if they want to just have a bridge to get off the system and operate in another way, that they can be free, that they can buy a flight ticket if they want to, and they're not going to be limited because they said the wrong word on YouTube one day, we're moving towards that reality. And that's why this is important for us to wake up to also where we're going, because if we all understand it, it's not going to have effect. It doesn't affect my life or Cicero's life. So I'm sure if you guys are aware, it's also, you're not going to be affected by it, because just by the fact that you're aware of it, you can steer away from what's not good and what's not serving the purpose of evolution. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, bro.
You can play the video there. I kind of want to watch the beginning, but I'm gonna have to run for my tennis match. I want to switch from my researcher shirt to my tennis shirt now.
Nice. So let us watch it.
Until next time.
Stepping in on the place of our
Till
CEO,
next
so
time.
I had to write very quickly, small presentation. So I am Felipe Castelo Branco. I am a director of Dakila Ecosystem, a holding company from Brazil that is present in various segments. Basically, we do research in the fields of history, archaeology, anthropology, genetics, astronomy, agriculture, animal feed, life extension technologies, high-tech ceramics, sustainable energy generation, and the BDM, a novel financial tool, a new digital paying system with its own blockchain and bioplasmatic technologies. These technologies are being developed and introduced to the market, having as its main goal, its main focus on improving human condition. We combine cutting-edge research with ancient technologies, as well as the information we get from our extra-dimensional partners. A reality well known to our leaders, but not by the general public, who are not exposed, who do not have access to this information. My objective here is to entice you to participate to our panel tomorrow, where we can go deeper and explore these subjects. Your questions are going to be most welcome. Bioplasmatic technologies are the future. In the following video, you will see some examples. I believe images speak louder than words. Hope to see you tomorrow in our panel. Here's our video, please. Video?
And I think with that.
No, not this one. Sound? Can you start it from the beginning, please?
Partnerships with extra-dimensional intelligences.
Look at this. It's the same thing you were seeing in your skies right now.
Exchange of information for the benefit of humanity. Information dispensed at a precise location in order to build a legacy for future generations. A quantum complex thriving at 19th degrees south latitude. No matter where we are, our connection is always present. It is a permanent bond. The knowledge acquired is to be shared with everyone. Interaction with bioplasmatic technologies focus on cell regeneration. Cosmetics developed with the kimberlite clay, which contains hundreds of minerals, including monatomic gold. Supplements for cellular nutrition that help to extend life. The kimberlite clay is also used in the manufacture of superconductors for telecommunication antennas, including radars for military use. The recent findings point to a revolution involving the quantum world and mental technology. Our partnerships. Extra-dimensional intelligences can present themselves in different ways to impart knowledge. At night, they appear in the form of luminous silhouettes. Only trained minds can visualize, understand, and communicate with these extra-dimensional intelligences. Only trained minds. They manipulate the photonic technology known to traditional science as teleportation. During the day, according with the modulation of the vibratory pattern, they appear in a translucent way. Some extraterrestrial races are also partners in this endeavor. Putting the information received into practice, several projects were implemented that expanded the Dakhla ecosystem. 067 wines. The benefits of grapes in the age-old drink, applying ancestral technologies. Pantanal Trading, an import and export company in the UAE. BDM Digital is an economic system totally independent from the financial market and centralized, focused on the user. Through blockchain technology, lives are transformed by increasing business opportunities. It is present in sports, culture, and education. Thus, an eternal alliance was formed.
Conseguimos! So we hope to see you guys tomorrow for our panel. It's going to be a very interesting one. Thank you very much.
So this is really interesting. Huh? I think that video talks for itself. It was a conference which happened in Dubai, and all that people which are with white clothes are from the real family in Dubai in the 7 Arabic United Kingdom, I think is the correct term for this. And that guy which was teaching, it's the Felipe Castelo Branco, and another guy which was often appearing is our president called Orangi Fernandes de Oliveira. I will show you a picture from this guy, which is so important to us. This is the one, Orangi Fernandes de Oliveira. He started the whole thing, and because of him, we are able to had these experiences and this knowledge.
So
And all these things. I was searching about another video which are really interesting, and I will put these two links in the description below for you to appreciate after, and keep in touch for the next podcasts. We are in order to spread more knowledge with you as soon as it's possible. Look, our tennis guy going from Roland Garros or something like this. So I'm hope you guys.
I wish.
Uh, I hope you guys enjoyed the whole thing. And if you are some questions, don't be shy. Put in the on the chat somewhere in the YouTube, and I will probably share it to my Instagram account for you. It's normally in Portuguese, but you can ask me in English, and I will answer you back in English. As you can see, I'm improving my language skills. I never ever studied English before, by the way, but I'm starting to do it because this novel mission to share the knowledge. So I wish you guys a good night. And hey, Lucy Araújo, I wish you guys a good night and see you in the next time.
See you guys.
See you on the road. On the road again. So see you in the next time. We will share a lot of more experiences with you.